Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Game 4 of the Sparky Bowl. This is the 1976 Cincinnati Reds taking on the 1904 Detroit Tigers in a make-believe World Series, where Sparky Anderson manages both teams. Game 4 is here in Detroit. The first two games were in Cincinnati, and the Reds won them both to take a 2-0 lead. Gone back to Detroit for Game 3, and Detroit won that one to cut the series lead to 2-1, and now they're going to try to even the series here in Game 4. Home team has held serve every game to this point. Starting pitcher is Jack Morris for the Detroit Tigers. He was the Game 1 starter. And Gary Nolan will start for the Reds. Reds are going with a 4-pitcher rotation. Tigers only going with a 3-pitcher rotation. Game 5, which will also be in Detroit. The final game in Detroit. And it will be Dan Petrie for the Tigers against Don Gullett for the Reds. At least I think that was Don Gullett to pitch Game 1, but don't quote me on it. I have to go back and look at it. Whoever started Game 1 for Cincinnati will start Game 5. Dan Petrie will do that as well. And if it has not been resolved after Game 5, it'll go back to Cincinnati for Games 6 and maybe 7 if they're necessary. So, got our dice here ready to go. Jack Morris is finishing up his warm-up tosses. And Pete Rose will be stepping in very shortly. There are the lineups for both teams. You can see them. It's a pretty basic lineup for each team. The Tigers are going with all left-handed batters against the right-hander Nolan. So Sparky is unloading all his lefties on the field. And on the bench for them, only right-handers. One switch hitter, Howard Johnson, but everybody else is right-handed. Both teams going with 6-man bullpens, and the Tigers have one extra player on the bench. So we are ready to go. Pete Rose will step in to face Jack Morris. Hello, Brian B. Oh, Gullett was on crutches. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've got Game 5 for the Tigers to use. I'm assuming. The Reds would pretty much stick to the same lineup regardless because they're all right-handed pitchers that they're facing. So maybe we'll have to revisit that and potentially look at either a Pat Zachary or a, somebody like that possibly could pitch Game 5. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. All right, here is Jack Morris. But one thing for sure, Brian B., you will not see that other channel do 3 streams in one day, which this is my 3rd stream today. Did a Stratomac doubleheader this morning, and now inside pitch here this evening. All right, we are ready to go. Jack Morris to Pete Rose. We're underway. 5-1. Strikeout chance 7. Rose strikes out at a 6, but the stadium adds 3, so Pete Rose will take the strikeout and not like it, but Tiger Stadium adds 3 to it, and that cost him. Hello, Ernest and Tim. Good to see you. Brian B., I might defer to you for who you would prefer to see as a Game 5 starter. If not Gullett, then I guess either Fred Norman. I think Fred Norman started Game 2. I'm trying to remember the orders. Either Norman 2 and Zachary 3 or Zachary 2, Norman 3. I don't remember exactly how they did it in the order, but I might defer to you then, since you said Gullett would not have done a Game 5. So might let you pick the starter for the Reds, but I have to know before this game is over so I can make my lineup boards to know who's on the bench, because if it's a lefty, the Tigers will have one lineup, and if it's a righty, okay, I'll go ahead and just use Gullett then. Keep it simple. I believe in the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, and I'm calling myself stupid. All right, here's Ken Griffey. That's a 4-4, and that is a walk plus. Griffey walks at a 12, so that's going to be automatic. The plus is going to be a 22, so that 3 there is not even anywhere near that range. So it's a 1-out walk to Griffey. His attempt is a 4. That's a 2, so he will get the lead. He steals at a 15, plus 1 from Morris is a 16, minus 2 from Parrish is a 14. 1-14. Brian B., do you want to send him on a 1-14? I mean, I would, but I'll defer to you. He got the lead. It's a 1-14 roll to steal second base for Griffey. Send him. All right, 1-14. He's in there. And it's a 4. He is in there. Stolen base. So he's in scoring position for Joe Morgan. Strategy roll. Nothing happening there. Morris to Morgan. That's a 5-4, and that's a strikeout chance. 16, though, is going to be way too high for that. So we go to Morgan. 1-5. It's a star 1. Ground ball to second. That'll get Griffey to third, but now there are 2 outs. So it's going to be up to Tony Perez. He is a good clutch hitter traditionally, and the Reds are going to need that clutch hitting right here. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. This is kind of a bat that wins and loses games right here. You leave those guys on third, it can come back to bite you. Morris, 1-6, strikeout, 17, too much. Even with the ballpark, it's not going to help it. Here's Perez. 5-1, grounder to second, and that's going to end it. So Morris pitches out of the jam, and that one could come back and bite the Reds in the behind, but we'll see. Long way to go, but you don't like leaving guys in scoring position, that's for sure, particularly on third base. All right. Bottom of the first. Getting his warm-up tosses done is Gary Nolan and Lou Whitaker. The Tigers and their corner-rounded cards. I don't know how well it shows up on video, whether on the stream, whether you can really tell the difference between the corner rounding and the regular, because I didn't. These were corner rounded like 3 years ago when I got them. So, you know, not a Johnny come lately on the corner rounding. I just did it just to be different and see how inside pitch cards would look. They don't look too bad, actually, but I don't think I'm going to go through that trouble again. That was a lot of work. Probably not even necessary. All right, here's Nolan. 5-4, and that's a range play at the park. So we're going to Tiger Stadium for a range play for Lou Whitaker. It's a 1-6. It's a ground ball to second. We're checking the range of Morgan. He's a 3. So only average range from Morgan. 1-3, and he cannot get it. It's a base hit for Lou Whitaker. So it didn't matter if he had 5 range on that one. He wasn't going to get that one either way. So Whitaker, to get the lead, needs a 2 or less. And it's a 2, so he does get the lead, but will he steal? 11 plus 1's a 12, but bench is a -1 for an 11. Only a 55% chance. And you got the big boys coming up, so I think they will hold Whitaker at first base. All right, here's Alan Trammell. 6-6, that's a strikeout chance, but 20, way too high for that. Go to Trammell. 2-2, that's a double to right field for Alan Trammell. How about that? Right fielder arm is Griffey. He's a +1. Whitaker runs at a 3. It makes it a 4. Double to right field, I believe let's see. Yeah, you lose 1 on a double to right. So that brings it back down to a 3. So 1-3, and he will score. And he does. And it's a chance for Trammell to move up since that's a 1. Trammell runs at a 3. No, he will not. He will hold. All right, so Trammell with an RBI double. And Whitaker will score. It's 1-0. And here is Kirk Gibson. Sparky might be going to the bullpen early and often because in Game 3, they didn't use the bullpen that much, so everybody's still pretty well rested. 4-4, that's a possible error. Go to Gibson. 6-2, it's a ground ball to first. We're checking the error rating of Perez, who's only a 4. I'm sorry, only a 3. That's a 5. So he will make the play. Trammell will take third base. It's a 3-1 put out as Perez flips to Nolan covering. But now, Brian, I'm assuming you want infield in with 1 out and a runner at third. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I will assume that unless you tell me differently. We're going to go ahead and play the infield in unless you wave it off. It's going to be Lance Parrish, the batter. Strategy roll. Nothing going on. All right, the infield is in. Trammell runs at a 3 that knocks him down to a 1, so he would score on a 1 or a 6. That's the only way he would score on a ground ball in the infield. But the range is reduced, so they got to hope they don't get a range check. 5-5 is a blank, so we go to Parrish, so there's no range check to worry about. 6-2, fly ball to left field. This could be a sacrifice fly. He's a 2. 1-2, it's a sacrifice fly. And it is. Sacrifice fly to left field by Parrish. Foster had it, but Trammell, no chance to get Trammell. And it is 2-0 Tigers here in the bottom of the first. And the red Sparky is not too happy about it. That'll bring up Darrell Evans with the bases clear. 2-6 is a blank. Evans, 3-1, liner to short. That's going to end the inning. Tigers get 2. We go to the second. It's Detroit 2, Cincinnati nothing. Reds do lead the series 2-1. So it is pretty much a must-win for Detroit. Brian, I'm going to let you manage the Reds. You tell me when you want to pull Nolan or pinch hit or whatever, and we'll make it happen. All right, here is Danny Dreesen, the designated hitter. 5-6 is a blank. We go to Dreesen. 5-4, star 2, ground ball to Trammell. 1 away. That'll bring up George Foster, against Morris. 6-2, wild pitch, nobody's on base. It's a blank. We go to Foster. 1-3, fly ball to center field, and Chet Lemon is there, 2 down for Johnny Bench. 1-6, strikeout chance. That's a 6. He got him. Second strikeout for Morris, and he is on his A game so far through 2 innings at least. We go to the bottom of the second, still 2-0 favor of the Tigers. Nolan now will face the designated hitter, Johnny Grubb. I have some affection for Johnny Grubb because he's a hometown boy. He is from Richmond, Virginia, just as I am. Nolan, 2-4. That's an automatic out, and that will be a fly to center, which Geronimo puts away, 1 away. Brings up Rupert Jones, former Seattle Mariner, former San Diego Padre, I believe former New York Yankee, former a lot of things for Rupert. 3-3, and that's a strikeout chance to a lefty. He strikes out at 14, plus 3 is a 17. That's a 1, so that's an automatic strikeout. Gary Nolan with his first strikeout of the evening. Brings up Chet Lemon, one of the few right-handers in the lineup. Only 3 of them, Trammell, Parrish, and Lemon. Everybody else is left-handed. Let's see, 6-5, strikeout, 18, too much. 2-5, ground ball to short. Concepcion has it. 3 up and 3 down for the Tigers as Nolan kind of gets his bearings back in this bottom of the second and pitches a fine inning. We go to the third, still 2-0. Still 7 innings to go, and anything can happen, particularly an inside pitch. You never know what can happen. There's always that quote-unquote 9th inning magic that can come along. All right, here is Cesar Geronimo. And his 2 range, which I still don't buy that one by a bit. I know he wasn't as good as 75, but you can't tell me he's below average. He's at least average. And I question the 0 arm. To me, is a -1 arm, but that's just me. 2-6, and that's a pitcher result. 1-17 is going to be an out. That's a 7, so it is an out. And it will be a ground ball to third. Easy play for Darrell Evans, 1 away. And that will bring up Concepcion. In my mind, a Hall of Famer. 3-1's a blank. I don't think there's a whole lot of dispute about it. He should be in the Hall of Fame. That's all I'm going to say about it. 1-5, star 3 is a ground ball to third. If he doesn't belong there, then you damn well better pull Pee Wee Reese and Phil Rizzuto out of there because they don't belong there either. Because they can't hold Concepcion's jockstrap. All right, here's Morris to Pete Rose. There, I said it. 2-4, that's a ballpark card. Pete Rose at Tiger Stadium. 4-1. Star 6 is a fly to right, and that's going to take care of it as Mr. Gibson hauls that in. And Jack Morris, 3 solid to start the game. Tigers still lead it 2-0. Bergman will lead things off against Nolan. 6-5, strikeout chance. 9, got him with that 9 and the +3, so that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Gary Nolan. Flips the order back over to Lou Whitaker. Whitaker singled and scored his first time up. 1-4 is a blank. We go to Whitaker. 3-3. It's a single right past Joe Morgan. So Whitaker is 2 for 2. To get the lead, needs a 2. Does not get it, so he will hold. And here's Alan Trammell. 5-3, and that's a blank to a right-hander. 5-3 again. Ground ball to short, possible double play. He's a 1. Nothing from Nolan. Halfway is a 2. The pivot at second is Morgan. He's a 0. So 1-2, they turn the double play. And they do. It's going to go 6-4-3. Just what the doctor ordered. And the Tigers are done here in the third. So after 3 complete, it's still Detroit 2 and Cincinnati nothing. We're using the DH because that's what was used in both 1976 World Series and the 1984 World Series. So you don't have to worry about deciding when to pull a pitcher based on when he's going to hit. Just like that famous line from Little Big League where the little kid was like, I don't know if I can manage or not. And the guy and his friend said, well, how hard can it be? It's the American League. They got the DH. And I agree. Simplifies managing quite a bit. Morris, 4-2. That's a wild pitch. Nobody on, just a blank. Go to Griffey. 1-3. It's a fly to left. 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to send up Joe Morgan. 2-2. Strikeout chance. 3 has got him. So Morgan out on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Jack Morris. Brings up Tony Perez. 6-5. That's a range play. We go to Perez for the range check. 2-3. That's a single to center, but it's a range check on Chet Lemon, and he is a 5. Chet Lemon is a 5. 1-5. He takes the single away. And he does. So Chet Lemon takes the hit away from Mr. Perez, and the Reds go quietly in the 4th. So the big red machine not running on all cylinders right now. Jack Morris has them under control. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. Bottom of the 4th, still 2-0 Detroit. Those 2 runs in the first held up. A single by Whitaker, a RBI double from Trammell, then a sacrifice fly from Lance Parrish, and that's been it. Here's Gibson. 1-1. That's a range play. We're going to Gibson's card for a range play. 4-6, and that's a single to second, but it's a range check on Morgan. He's a 3. 1-3. He takes this away, and he does. So Morgan takes the hit away from Gibson. 1 down. Brings up Lance Parrish. Tony, I don't remember. Do you play inside pitch? I'm not sure if you're an inside pitch aficionado. I know you're a Stratomatic guy. I just couldn't remember if you did inside pitch as well. Gary Nolan to Lance Parrish. 2-1 blank. We go to Parrish. 4-1 fly to center. Geronimo is there. 2 down. 2 up and 2 down brings up Darrell Evans. 1-1. That's another range play. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so you can at least semi-follow what I'm doing then. Okay. Range play on Evans. 4-4. Ground ball to third. We're checking Pete Rose. He's a 3. 1-3. He takes the hit away. And he does. So a lot of good range plays for both teams in this inning. Takes those hits away. We've completed 4. And the score is still 2-0 Detroit. Jack Morris back out. We'll be facing Mr. Dreesen, designated hitter for the Reds. 6-1 is a blank. We will go to Dreesen. 5-5. That's a power result to center field. 1-14. That's a 6. That will be a double center field for Dan Dreesen. And that's the first hit of the game for the Reds. That breaks up the no-hitter here in the 5th. To lead off, Dan Dreesen. Brings up George Foster. Nothing on the strategy roll. Foster has a chance now to chip away at this lead. That leadoff double. 1-1, and that's an error on a grounder, possibly. Foster, 6-2, star once, ground ball to second. That's to Whitaker. His error rating's a 6. That is a 6. It will be an error on Lou Whitaker. He boots it. Big play there. And the Reds have 2 on with nobody out. How do you like that? A 6, and Whitaker is a 6. Unbelievable. Just hit that right in stride. And now first and third, nobody out. A 2 for the jump, and he's not going to get it, so he'll hold. And here's Johnny Bench. Tigers are playing, of course, for the double play. They need outs. They'll give up a run to get 2 outs. Bench, a high, deep double play rating. 3-4, and that's a hit by pitch chance. He's a 3, -6 though, so no hit by pitch. Go to Johnny Bench. 1-2. It's a pop up to short, and that's 1 away. 1 down, big out there to get, and now a double play will get the Tigers out of the inning. Here's Geronimo. Nothing on the strategy roll. Morris to Geronimo. 6-1 blank. We go to Geronimo. 3-1, and that's a triple to left field. Those left-right splits coming right into play. A triple to left, and we got a tie ball game. We'll look at the roll again, but that is a triple from Cesar Geronimo. 1-out triple, 2-run triple, 3-1, and that's a split chance with the T7 on the right-hand side, and we got a tie ball game. Tie ball game, and now the Tigers will bring the infield in with 1 out for Concepcion. 2-1, strikeout 1, got him. That's the 4th strikeout for Morris, but he's still shaken by that triple from Geronimo. And now the infield back to normal with 2 outs for Pete Rose. Peter Edward Rose, 0 for 2. 1-6, strikeout 7, got him. He's a 6, but the stadium adds 3. So it's just like he did to start the game. He gets struck out by the stadium. But the 2-run triple from Cesar Geronimo has tied this game at 2. And now the Tiger Sparky is a little bit chagrined, maybe pacing the dugout a bit, while the Red Sparky is clapping his hands. It'll be Grubb, Jones, and Lemon due up for the Tigers against Mr. Nolan. 2-5 is a blank. We go to Grubb. 1-1. Star 1 is a fly to center. Geronimo is there. Grubb is fly to center twice. Here's Rupert Jones. 2-5 is another blank. We go to Rupert. 5-3. That's a fly to left. Foster puts it away, 2 down. And that'll bring up Chet Lemon. So Gary Nolan has really settled in since that first inning. 6-3 is a blank. We go to Lemon. 5-1, and that's a ground ball to Pete Rose. 1, 2, 3. The Tigers at the end of 5. We are tied at 2 apiece. Reds with the momentum and the 2-1 lead, more importantly. Here is Griffey. He will lead things off, followed by Morgan and Perez here in the top of the 6th. 2-1, strikeout chance, but 18 is too high. Griffey 1-5. That's a single right past the pitcher. So he snuck it right past Morris for a base hit. And now Griffey attempt to 4. cannot get the lead. He will hold. Here's Joe Morgan. Little Joe, 4-4. That's a walk plus, and that will put 2 on with nobody out. Morris getting himself into more trouble. Now he's got to deal with Perez. Infield looking for that double play. 6-2, wild pitch. That's a 6. That will be a wild pitch. So there goes the double play right there. That just left the opportunity with that wild pitch. But second and third, nobody out. Now the infield's going to have to come in. They really can't afford to put more runs. Morris to Perez. 2-6. That's a pitcher result. 1-11 is an out. That's a 1. It is an out, but what kind of out is it? It's a 4. It's a fly to left. Is it a sacrifice fly? He's a 1. No. Griffey runs at a 4. The fly out went to left, which is Jones. He's a 0. So 1-4, and it's still going to be a good sacrifice fly. It is not, and possibly he could be out. So let's look at the second throw chart. He's a 0 arm, so a 4 through 6 he's going to hold. 1-3, we go to that extra throw chart. That's a 3. We're going to the extra throw chart. His BR is a 4. If we get a 1, he will score. 6, I believe he will score also. 2-5, he's going to be out. That's a 1, so he's going to score. Sacrifice fly is going to be good. And I'm thinking that's how you do that when on the sacrifice fly attempt. I think you go to that third chart when I roll the 6 there. But if I did that wrong, somebody let me know. I think I did that correctly. Need RJL here. Where is he at? He's usually hanging around. Maybe he's lurking somewhere. But it is a sacrifice fly for Tony Perez. And the Reds claimed the lead for the first time, 3-2. Morgan still at second base. Oh, we had a runner on second. My bad. I believe Morgan's going to be out. It says lead runner advances, ball caught off, and trailing runner is thrown out. So, yes, Morgan is going to be out because it was cut off. My bad. I forgot Morgan was on second. So, Morgan's going to be out. We're going to call, I'm going to make this up, 7. We'll say 7 to 6 to 5, I guess we'll call it, for out number 2. I forgot that on the 1. When you get a 1, the lead runner advances, but the other runner, the ball is cut off and the trail runner gets thrown out. I was thinking the bases were empty other than the guy on third. I forgot Morgan was on second. So he is, in fact, thrown out. So now it's 2 outs, base is empty. 6 doesn't matter. It's just not a sacrifice fly, Brian. Is that what you're saying? So I need to back this up. Okay. So it just means if both fail, regardless of a 6 or not, then the runner just holds. Okay, well, we'll fix that. All right, now Griffey, the single. And he's at second. He's at third base. Morgan's still at second base with 1 out. So there is no sacrifice fly for Perez. It's just a fly to left. We'll get it straight. Thank you, Brian, for... Oh, I'm not worried about version 4. Screw version 4. I would take... Well, I won't say it. I was going to say it, but I'll be nice. All right, so second and third, 1 out. Infield still in. And Dreesen, your batter. 5-5. That's a walk chance, and he will draw the walk. That'll load the bases. So bases are loaded. It does set up a double play if you want to look at a silver lining for this. Yes, thank goodness for the correction tape. You were correct. And for the correction chat from Brian to correct me on that. All right, bases loaded for George Foster. The Tigers have to decide. Are they going to play in or play back for a double play? He's only a 2. Halfway, make it a 3. You got a 50-50 chance for a double play because the pivots at second and short are both 0. So they will play back for the double play. I don't remember if I did strategy roll, so I'll do it again. Nothing happening. Morris to Foster. The infield is back for the double play. 5-2 is a strikeout chance. That's a 19. That's too high. Go to Foster. 4-6, and that's a single pass second, so it didn't matter where they were playing. Foster singles, and on an S4 to score from second, all you need is a 2. Morgan runs at a 3, so he will score as well. It's a 2-run single off the bat of George Foster. Dreesen runs at a 4 to get to third. All he needs is a 3, so he'll make it to third. And just like that, it's 4-2 in favor of the Reds, and now the Tiger bullpen is up and tossing feverishly. Juan Berenguer, the right-hander, is tossing as fast as he can toss. Foster looking to get the lead, needs a 2 or less. Does not get it. So here's Johnny Bench. Again, the infield looking for the double play. Bench is a 3. Hello, D. Scott. Good to see you. Tigers led 2-0 after 1. The Reds now lead at 4-2 here in the top of the 6th. 4-4. That's a walk plus, so he's going to load the bases again with a walk. And that may do it. They may have to pull Morris here. With the lefty Geronimo coming up, and he has a lot of good hits against righties. So I think the Tigers are actually going to a lefty out of the bullpen. They're going to go to a left-hander. I know it's unorthodox, but this is, if you don't get out of this, the game's over. So they're bringing in Willie Hernandez to try to put a kibosh on this right away. Because if you don't get out of this and they score a couple more runs, you're not going to use Willie Hernandez anyway. So you might as well use him now. They're going to bring him in. And Morris, a dejected exit from the ball game. But Willie Hernandez is on with the bases loaded and 1 out. Infield is in because Geronimo's got only a 1 here and he's got a -1 here. So the infield is in. Nothing on the strategy roll. Hernandez to Geronimo. 2-6. That's a strikeout chance, but 15 got him. He's a 13, but the stadium adds 3, so that 15 fits, and he got him for out number 2. And Brian B., you will not see that other channel bring in the closer in the 6th inning. In a key situation. You will not see that. I'm fairly sure. All right, here is Concepcion. Bases loaded, 2 outs now. Infield back to normal. Nothing on the strategy. Hernandez to Concepcion. 6-2, strikeout 13. He's a 10 against lefties, but the +3 struck him out to get out of the mess. Keep it at 4-2. And yes, my hand won't reach back far enough, but I am trying to pat myself on the shoulder for that brilliant managing move that keeps the Tigers still in this ball game. Talk about outside the box thinking right there. All right, let's get the numbers on Morris. He's going to go 5 1/3. He is going to give up 4 runs. Only 3 were earned. Let's see how many hits he gave up. Let's do walks. 1, 2, 3, 4 walks rather for Morris. And he struck out. I've only got him for 3. I'm sorry, I've got him for 4 strikeouts. How many hits? 1, 2, 3, just 4 hits. So 5 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. And that's the way we have it to close the book on Mr. Morris. So now the Tigers have their work cut out for them. Here in the bottom of the 6th, down 4-2. All right, here is Gary Nolan. 2-4, that's an automatic out. And Bergman is going to be out via a fly to left. So there's 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Sweet Lou. 5-1, strikeout 12 is too high. Go to Whitaker, 1-5. That's a double to right field for Lou Whitaker. Now the tying run is at the plate, and Alan Trammell First time the Tigers have threatened the scoreboard since the first inning. 5-6. That's a blank to Trammell. He's a righty, so that's a blank. We go to Trammell. 4-4. Fly to right field, 2 down. Right fielder arm is Griffey. He's a +1. Whitaker's a 3, makes him a 4. From right field, you lose 1, makes him a 3. So 1-3, he'll take third base. And he does. So Whitaker will scoot over to third base with 2 outs for Kirk Gibson. Another clutch situation for Gibby. He's 0 for 2. 1-2, and against a lefty, that's a walk chance. 5, he will walk him. That'll put runners on the corners with 2 outs. Gibby a 6 or less to get the lead. He does not get the lead, so he will hold for Lance Parrish. Tying runs are on base for Parrish with 2 outs. Nolan, 1-6. He's not tired, so it's not a single, just a blank. Parrish, 6-3, star 3. It's a ground ball to Morgan, and the inning is over. And now it's the Tigers with those LOBs. Those SOBs with the LOBs. We've played 6. Still 4-2. Let's see who's coming up for the Reds. It'll be Rose, Griffey, and Morgan. So they're going to stick with Hernandez, the lefty, at least for the 7th inning. Then they'll turn it over to somebody else. Probably Senor Smoke, most likely. Here's Pete Rose. 2-2 on Hernandez is a home run question mark. 1-16. That's an 18. No home run chance for Rose, but Rose will swing it. 1-6. Power result to center field against lefties. It goes up to a 14, but that's an 18. So Lemon will track it down. 1 away, and that'll bring up Ken Griffey. 2-1. Strikeout 2 is going to get him. 2 down. So Willie Hernandez faced 4 batters, struck out 3 of them, got them all out. Just has to get Morgan out to finish his tour of duty in this game. 4-1, possible error on a throw. 5-5, power result to left. It only goes to 8. That's a 9. So that's going to be a fly ball to left field, and that's going to end the inning. And that will do it for Hernandez. He goes an inning and a third, gives up nothing, strikes out 3, and keeps his team in the game. More importantly than anything else. And coming in to pitch in the 8th inning will be Senor Smoke for the Tigers, Aurelio Lopez. He will get the call in the top of the 8th. Right now, we're going to the bottom of the 7th. It is the 7th inning stretch. And, of course, that means take me out to the ball game. So you can sing along, stretch along, whatever you prefer. And we will head to take me out to the ball game. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books, and we are ready to move on to the bottom of the 7th. Gary Nolan still rolling along. Can face 28 batters. He has so far faced 22, so he's still in good shape, at least through this inning. Maybe questionable in the 8th inning. We shall see. Remember, there's a DH, so we don't have to worry about pinch hitting for him or anything. Just let him go as long as he wants. And it's going to probably be his only appearance in the series, so might as well wear his arm out, I guess. Here's Evans. Nolan to Evans. 1-5, strikeout, 19 too much. Go to Evans. 1-2, that's a star 4. Ground ball to Concepcion. And there's one down. Here's Johnny Grubb. 2-1, and that's an automatic out against the left-hander. And that will be a ground ball to second for Joe Morgan. 2 down for Rupert Jones. 1-2, and that's a walk chance against a lefty. That's a 7, so he will walk Rupert Jones. A 2-out walk to Jones, and that'll bring up Chet Lemon. Jones' attempt is a 3 or less, and he's not going to go anywhere. Here's Chet Lemon. He is 0 for 2. 4-5 is a walk chance. 17 is too high. Go to Lemon. 2-5, and that's a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning. So Gary Nolan, awesome through 7 innings. He's faced 26 batters. He can face 28. So he's still good to at least pitch into the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Tigers will be Aurelio Lopez. He's going to be on to face Perez, Dreesen, and Foster here in the top of the 8th. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Brian, you let me know if you want a defensive replacement or bringing in a pinch hitter or Nolan to be lifted or warm up in the bullpen. Somebody just let me know when the time comes, or a little bit of warning so I can get it all set up for you. All right, top of the 8th. Senor Smoke, Leo Lopez against Tony Perez. 4-2, strikeout chance. 16 is too high. Even with the stadium, it's not going to be high enough. Perez, 1-2, double to left field for Tony Perez. So Perez with a leadoff double. And that brings up Dreesen. Strategy rolls are still on till the 9th inning at least, if the score stays the way it is. Here's Dreesen. Lopez, 3-6. That's a home run question mark. 1-9. That passes. Dreesen home run chance is a 1-14. It'll be gone on a 1-14. And it is. It's gone. A 2-run home run for Dan Dreesen. And Senor Smoke is up in smoke. And Sparky's not happy about it. They had to pull Hernandez because if you went to him in another inning, he wouldn't be available tomorrow. So they were trying to make him available for both days. And the Lopez, a fine pitcher, but just 2 bad pitches right there. And all of a sudden, it's 6-2, and there are no more strategy rolls now. 2-6, strikeout. 17, too high. Go to Foster. 1-3 is a fly to center, 1 away. Former Red Doug Bear and former Red Bill Scherer are loosening in the Tiger bullpen. 2-1 is a walk chance. 19 is going to walk him. No, he won't. He's a 17 plus 1's an 18. That's a 19, so no walk. My bad. Johnny Bench, 6-4. Ground ball to third, and that is out number 2 for Geronimo. So Lopez, we're going to cap him with the 1 inning. That's it. Lopez, 1-2. He's not tired. There's no single there. Here's Geronimo. 3-5, and that's a power result to center field against a right-hander. It goes to 16. That's a 1. It'll be a straight-out single for Geronimo. The strategy rolls are now off with the score 6-2. So here is Concepcion. 4-5, and that is a range play. Infield was normal because there are 2 outs, so nothing changes there. Concepcion, 4-3. That's a single to center. It's a range play, though. Lemon's a 5. He has to have this. cannot be a 6 or they're really in trouble. And Lemon will take it away. That's the second hit he's taken away on a range play. But the 2-run homer from Dan Dreesen gives the Reds a comfortable 6-2 lead. They were down 2-0 after 1. Nolan got himself straight, and they jumped on Morris, and now they're jumping on Aurelio Lopez. And now Nolan coming out for the 8th inning. This will be batter number 27 coming up. He could face 28 before he is tired. It'll be Bergman, Whitaker, and Trammell due up. Hello, Mr. Robert. I think your ears were burning earlier. I don't know. Let me do something here. Fix this on the computer. I forgot to plug in my computer. It had a full battery, but now it's getting low. I got the message saying the battery is getting low, so I better plug it in before I get disconnected. Don't want that would be pretty embarrassing to drop the stream because the computer was out of power. We don't want that to happen. So we'll take care of that really quickly. Okay. Dave Bergman will lead things off. And Brian, you can let me know when and if you want to make any changes. Otherwise, I'm going to let it ride. Nolan, 5-6, and that's a strikeout chance to a lefty. That's a 7, and he got it. This is batter 28, last batter before he's tired. It's Lou Whitaker, who is 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double. 2-5 is a blank. We go to Whitaker. 3-6, ground ball to first, and easy play for Tony Perez, 2 down. Here's Trammell. If we hit the parentheses roll on Nolan, he will have to be removed. 4-1's a blank. Well, we almost hit on a 4-2, but a 4-1's a blank. Go to Trammell. 6-4, that is a star 4, ground ball to Concepcion. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 9th at Cincinnati 6, Detroit 2. And Sparky, the Detroit version of Sparky, a little frustrated. And just to tick off his old team, he's going to bring in Bill Scherer, former Cincinnati man, to pitch. He started the '84 season in Cincinnati, then went to Detroit. And Scherer, we'll do the numbers on Lopez. He went 1 inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, very ineffective. No walks, no strikeouts. Hernandez was great. He came in and kept him in the game, but then, lo and behold, they ran to Senor Smoke, and he got smoked. We're going to let Nolan try to complete it. Very good. We will do that. Here is Bill Scherer facing Pete Rose. 2-6, and that's a range play, so we're going to Pete Rose for the range play. 3-4, and that's going to be a single to the pitcher. Scherer is a 3. 1-3, he takes the hit away. And he does not. It's going to get by him for a base hit. Pete Rose is aboard. And yes, it's looking like a Cincinnati Reds intra-squad game. I did that on purpose, just to prove a point, which has already been proven by more points than I can think of. That horse has been beaten to death already. Hello, Colin. Here is Scherer to Griffey. Of course, strategy rolls are off with the score being what it is. Scherer, 6-2, ballpark card. We haven't gone to the ballpark card that much. We're going back to Tiger Stadium for the Ken Griffey at bat. 3-3, that is a fly to right field. Boy, that would have been a home run opposite field. And it would have been gone with that one had we had a 3-4. But a 3-3, simply a fly to right. Gibson puts it away, 1 down for Joe Morgan. 6-6, and that's an automatic out against a lefty. And that out will be a fly to right again. So that's 2 down for Tony Perez. 1-1, and that's a single right past the pitcher, straight up on a right-hander to get from first to third on an S1. You need a 4 or better. Rose is a 3, but with 2 outs, it becomes a 4. So let's go put runners at the corners for Danny Dreesen. Brian, if you so choose, Dreesen's had a great game, but if you so choose to bring in a right-hander like Bailey or somebody to take his place at DH, I'll do it. If not, I'll let Dreesen ride. He's got a double and a home run. Might as well, I guess. I don't see any reason to pinch hit unless you do. All right, here is Dreesen against Shearer. Oh, you want to bring in Bailey? Okay. All right, we'll pull him. And we'll bring in Bob Bailey, and Bailey will stay in the game to DH as the DH if it goes extra innings somehow or another. So Bailey, the DH, or a pinch hitter, and he'll stay in as a DH if it goes further. Bailey is on. Now the Tigers may counter this with a right-hander of their own. They're going to go to Doug Bayer. So they're going to pull Shearer and go to the right-hander Doug Bayer. Try to get the last out and not let the Reds get any more runs. Shearer goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, no runs so far, no walks, no strikeouts. He's responsible for both runners. So Doug Bayer will be taking on Bob Bailey, and that leaves Berenguer and Rozema in the bullpen if necessary. If we go some miraculous extra innings or something. So Bayer facing Bailey. Yep, Bailey's a cookie cutter. But at least Bayer has a couple of outs against righties, so you can use the right-handed version of that. 6-1 is a pitcher result. 1-3 is an out. That's a 10, so it's a blank. We go to Bailey. 2-5, single pass short. Cookie cutter strikes again. Cookie cutter strikes again, and it's now 7-2. Perez to get to third on an S6, you need a 5. He's only a 2 with 2 outs. He's a 3, so he will hold. But the Reds now lead at 7-2. So we've seen the 2 ills of inside pitch here in this inning. You've seen the cookie cutter card, which produced a base hit, which it probably would not have otherwise. And we saw Cincinnati taking on Cincinnati with Bill Shearer in his Reds outfit. Here's George Foster. That run is charged to Shearer, by the way. 4-6 is a strikeout, but 20 is too much. Foster, 2-6. That's a single to center field. This could bring home another run. Perez runs at a 2 with 2 outs. He's a 3. Center fielder arm Lemons a 0. Single to center, you gain 1, makes him you gain 2 actually, makes him a 5. So 1-5, and he will score. And he does. So it's an RBI single. And with that being a 2, what does Bailey run at? Bailey runs only as a 1, so he can't move up. You didn't say anything about pinch running for Bailey, so I just didn't think about it. The score being what it is, it probably doesn't make a difference anyways. Now 8-2, close the book on Shearer. He gave up both of those runs as Bayer allows the inherited runners. And now Bayer may need an aspirin after that. It's now 8-2. Cedrin headache number 28. And here's Johnny Bench. 6-1, pitcher result again, 1-3, but that's a blank. Bench, 1-1, fly to center. The inning is finally over. Bayer goes a third of an inning, gives up 2 hits, but he gives up the inherited runs, which were big. And it is now 8-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. And I don't think there's enough 9th inning magic in inside pitch to get back 6 runs. But I could be wrong. But, wrong team up there. Let's get the Tigers up to bat. The Reds don't need to bat anymore. Kirk Gibson is up now. Nolan is tired, so if he hits the parentheses result, he has to come out. And Manny Sarmiento light tossing in the bullpen just in case. Nolan says, don't worry about it. I got it. 3-4, and that's a blank. We go to Gibson. 4-3, and that is that is a star 4, which is a ground ball to short. So other than the first inning, Nolan has been large and in charge. He has pitched a 2-hitter, a 2-hit shutout since the first inning. So talk about being in complete control. He is. 4-3, once again, is now a ballpark card. So we're going to Tiger Stadium for Lance Parrish. 4-5, and that is a star 4. Ground ball to short again. So Concepcion's been busy. 3 consecutive ground outs to short going back to last inning. And Darrell Evans' last hope for the Tigers, or they will fall 3 games to 1 behind. 6-3 is a blank. Evans gets a shot at it. 4-4, and he's going to ground it to Pete Rose, and that's going to do it. Gary Nolan, a complete game. Reds crush the Tigers 8-2 and take a commanding 3 games to 1 lead in the replay. Gary Nolan, our player of the game. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. So Tigers made 1 error, or did they make 2? I knew they made the 1 here. I think that's the only error, and the Reds did not make any errors. So Nolan, let's see how many hits he gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just 4 hits. He pitches a 4-hitter. 2 runs, 2 earned. He walked 2. And he struck out, not that many. Struck out 1, 2. I've only got him for 3 strikeouts. So they put the ball in play, but he kind of kept them at bay on that. Reds end up, I've got them for 11 hits, 8 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. Left on base for Cincinnati, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left on for Cincinnati. For Detroit, not that many. 1, 2, 3, just 3 left on. So there is your final score. And as Brian B. would say, this one belongs to the Reds. Reds lead it 3 games to 1. So Game 5 will be back in Detroit, the final game at Tiger Stadium. It'll be Dan Petrie for the Tigers against Don Gullett of the Reds. Gullett was the Game 1 starter. He's back for Game 5. Dan Petrie, the Game 2 starter, will be starting for Detroit. And since nobody on Detroit's bullpen pitched more than 1 1/3 innings, they're all available for Game 5 because it's an off day after that. So it's Johnny Bullpen behind Dan Petrie. And Tigers thought they had it. They were up 2-0 after 1, held a 2-0 lead after 4, but then that's when all heck broke loose. The Lou Whitaker error kind of sparked the whole thing, and then that 2-run triple from Geronimo tied the game, and then all this stuff with the walks and whatnot went haywire in the 6th. So anyway, that's going to do it from here on Inside Pitch. Reds lead it 3 games to 1. Once this series is over, we will resume the 1977 one game a day playing on Inside Pitch. I'll give before I do that though, we're at the end of the month, so I'll do a little presentation of the standings and how they're doing on the board and all that stuff, and get ready for the May 1st game before we get going on that. But that'll be once this series is finished. Tomorrow morning, if you're at work or whatever you're doing, I plan on doing Stratomatic again tomorrow morning. Oakland at Milwaukee. That will be the game, probably around 8 o'clock, maybe 9, depending on what's going on and who. If somebody else is streaming in the morning, I'll hold off, but usually it's a pretty good time to stream. Not a lot of activity there. And of course, with RJL taking his travel day for his 99 replay, it was a good chance to sneak this in and get this game in. No thunderstorms tonight, so no problems with that. So that's going to do it from here. Cincinnati clubs the Detroit Tigers 8-2 to take a 3 games to 1 lead in this imaginary World Series. They look to wrap it up in Detroit in their next game. I don't know when. That might be Wednesday. I'm not sure which day it will be. Probably it will be Wednesday. That's what I'm guessing. If they don't win it in Detroit, they can always come back home to Cincinnati and win it there. And I believe if there is a Game 6, it'll be Fred Norman against Milt Wilcox. And if it goes to Game 7, all bets are off there. Probably Jack Morris against whoever. Probably Pat Zachary, I guess, but we'll figure that out. Or the way Nolan pitched, maybe bring him back on short rest. I don't know. Doubt it goes that far. most likely, the way the Reds are playing, not out of the question to see them wrap this up in 5 games. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful Monday night wherever you are, playing whatever game you choose to play, whether it's PC, cards and dice, whether it's baseball, hockey, football, basketball, soccer, golf, whatever your car racing, whatever your interest is. But the important thing is that you enjoy the hobby. And don't forget, this Friday again will be Fun Day Friday. Will be a game I haven't played in a while. I'll be presenting that on Friday, probably at noon, unless Uncle Ron is streaming at noon. If he's going to be streaming at noon, I'll probably do it a little bit before that, maybe at 11. So I don't want to cross over with him if I can avoid it, because I know a lot of people like to watch Uncle Ron do his game on Action PC. So I'm not going to say what game it's going to be this Friday or what game engine or what year. You'll just have to wait and see. And then, of course, on Saturday, we're back to the NBC game of the week. 1978 on season ticket baseball. It's the Phillies visiting the Reds. That'll be the matchup there. I believe it's Jim Lomborg against Paul Moscow. I think that's the starting pitchers for the Saturday game. Not sure. But short term, tomorrow, Oakland against Milwaukee from County Stadium. Stratomatic Super Advanced tomorrow morning, if you so desire to tune in. So that's it from here. Cincinnati takes a 3-1 lead and takes control of the series, and they are in the driver's seat, as they say. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.